Hey there, and welcome to AI to 10K. In this training, I'm going to show you how to use AI to make more during your next launch and a few other things. I'm Brittany Long. I'm an award-winning former educator. I'm a copywriter and AI coach. I coach in different programs and then also have my own programs as well that I coach in for AI. I'm the founder of AI Copy Club and AI to 100K. Now, we've made over 100,000 in our business using AI tools, copy, and content. And I've worked in the marketing world for over 5 years now. And there's one thing that I know for sure: if you can be seen, more visible, if you can move quickly with more speed, and if you can solve a very specific problem, that's where the magic happens. That's where it makes it easy and fun to make money. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So by the end of this workshop, you'll know how to use AI much better. You'll be able to prepare to make money this month using AI. You'll know what AI can help you with. You'll be able to create a sales page, sales emails, promotional social posts, and you're also going to get all the prompts that I would use as we go through this workshop. As a special bonus, as a thank you for staying to the very end, I'm also going to send you my mid-journey images step-by-step tutorial. Let me just show you real quick what these look like. So these are some of the images that I made. Now you may be thinking, these are ridiculous, Brittany. So these are my face, not that one, obviously. But the thing that I love about this is that it looks enough like me that it stops somebody's scroll as they're going through social. And it's wacky enough, as you can see, that it makes them comment or like or share. And so because of that, not that one, but because of that, I have found that our launches have been doing even better because we have something scroll stopping, something that keeps us top of mind and visible. And I'm going to share that training with you for free for anyone that stays to the end. Again, thank you so much for being here. I also have one other thing at the end of this. I'm going to talk about AI to 100K. There's a special offer for you at the end. This is not something that you'll see anywhere else on my website. And it's the last 15 minutes of this extensive workshop. And so I'll tell you when it's coming so that if you're like, I'm not interested, it's totally fine. You can hop off at that point. But if you are interested, you'll be able to see how we can continue to work together if that's something that let's go ahead and jump in. So step 0, the first thing we're going to look at when we're trying to figure out how do I make 10K in my next launch, how do I make more in my next launch, is what are your current numbers? So a lot of times people tell me, I had a bad launch. But most of the time, the actual issue is that it's disproportionate expectations. So what we want to do is look at your numbers. Specifically, what is your list size? What is your open rate? What is your conversion rate? Now, sometimes I'll hear people say, you don't need to know your open rate anymore. But I use it to compare from one email to another, from one launch to another. And even if I'm not comparing to industry standard or somebody else, I can still compare apples to apples within my own email sequencers, within my own email list size, open rate, and a sales page conversion rate. So here's an example. Let's say you have a email list size of 1,000. And the reason we look specifically at email list size instead of at your social size is because social is a little bit harder to know for sure. If you have an email list size of 1,000, we can base what you're going to make on what your open rate is, what your conversion rate is. But if you have a social following of 1,000, it's not as tried and true. The numbers aren't as reliable as to how much you will or won't make. So that's why we want to look at email list to give us a better idea of how much we can expect to make on a certain launch. So if your email list size, let's say it's 1,000, and you have an open rate of 40% and a conversion rate of 2%, you can expect 8 sales. And here's how you do the math on that. You say, okay, if I send one email to 1,000 people times 0.4, that's 40%, times 0.02, that's 2% conversion rate. That would be 8 sales if we do the math on that. So when you're looking at your launches, what's your good, better, and best number? If my good number is 8, so if I go back here and I have a list size of 1,000 and my good number is 8 sales, then I know that I need to send at least one email to 1,000 people, have an open rate of 40% and a conversion of 2%. If I don't have, that means, okay, I need to maybe increase my open rate. That might be a better subject line, or it might mean making sure that my emails are delivering. It could mean having a conversion rate, making sure that's at least 2%. So maybe adding some testimonials to my sales page. My better number, let's say 8 is my good number. My better number, I'm saying, okay, if I do a little bit more, if I send out a little bit more emails, a few more emails, some more social posts, if I talk about it a little bit more, what could I get to? And then when I look at best, that's usually the, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't even believe this is happening kind of number. So good number is what I can reasonably expect based on my list size. Better for me is if I push just a little bit harder, do just a little bit more. And then best is if I really go for it and pull out all the stops, this is what I could expect. Okay, So when you know your numbers, you know how to proceed. So if you want 10K during your next launch, but have a small list, then you may want to look at something that's higher ticket that has one-on-one messaging, because then it's smaller lists, but you need fewer people to say yes. Or let's say you want 10K during your next launch, but you have a small list and you don't want to do high ticket. You don't want to do one-on-one messaging. So if you're low ticket and you have a small list, then you want to look at using affiliates, talking to clients or past clients, customers or past customers. You want to look at maybe doing a challenge, something to get more people engaged, or doing one-time high ticket. Sometimes people will tell me, okay, I want a 5-figure launch, but I don't have the list size for it. Just because you opt to do a high ticket once doesn't mean you ever have to do it again. But sometimes you just want that cash injection, or you just want to make a little bit more. Doing a one-off high ticket offer, or one-off one-on-one coaching, or one-off one-on-one strategy, or something like that is not a bad option. Just because you decide to offer it once doesn't mean you ever have to offer it again. Now, there are a million ways to make 10K. And so based on your list size, is high ticket or low ticket offer best for you? If you have pen and paper nearby, I would write this down. I'll just put in there is if you're wanting to do a low ticket offer or high ticket offer. Go ahead and write that down now. Now that we've decided if we want to do a high ticket or low ticket offer, the next thing we want to do is analyze your offer. So I want you to pull up your homework. Now, if you're thinking, what is she talking about with homework? That's the prep guide that you would have gotten in your email, but I'm also going to attach it right down below. There will be a button for you to click that says prep guide. That's what I'm talking about when I say your homework. So if you need to pause this and work on that's totally fine. But what we're going to do is copy in those answers that you wrote down in your prep guide and then paste them into ChatGPT. So you're going to paste in all those offer details. Who is this offer for? What do they get? What are the reasons that you think they'll buy? And then we're going to analyze the offer. And here is a prompt you can do to use that for. I'm going to tell you who my audience is, what my offer is, including what buyers will get, and reasons I think they'll buy. I want you to analyze this offer for the audience and tell me anything that needs to be added, removed, or edited based on what I told you about my audience. Now, I'm not expecting you to type this as I'm going. I actually provided all the prompts for you in a workbook below. So you'll see the prep guide, and then you're also going to see workshop prompts. The workshop prompts include the one that you're seeing right now. If you write it in the prep guide, that's coming up with your audience and all that. The next thing to do is go ahead and go to the workshop prompts, and that has this one that you see on the screen right now. So let's go ahead and analyze your offer. The next one we want to think about is objections. So here's another prompt. Now I want you to make a list of at least 20 objections my audience might have about my offer, plus at least 2 ways we can bust each objection. When busting the objections, go deep into the human psyche of my audience and go deep on the reason why when busting the objection. I don't want surface level. As a reminder, my audience is. Now, if you're finding that ChatGPT or Claude, whichever one you're using, is not really giving you something that you think would be pertinent to your audience, that's why we would add in the as a reminder, my audience is. If you're finding that it's giving you good information, exactly what you want, then that's not something you need to put in. So really all we're doing right now is we have copy and pasted what you had from the prompts, and then we just added these 2 in. So again, the last one we had was this. I'm going to tell you who my audience is, what my offer is, reasons I think they'll buy, and then we're asking it to analyze. So you're just copying and pasting that in and seeing what ChatGPT says. It's going to give you some suggestions on what can be added, removed, or edited. Now, the really cool thing with this is that there's going to be some things that you maybe didn't think of that just didn't come to mind immediately when you were creating this offer. A lot of times we're so close to our own offer that it's hard to see some of those things that we could add or remove or edit. And so having ChatGPT analyze my offer every time before I put it out there has been not only helpful, but it's also saved me a ton of time and energy, making sure that I have offers that are really helpful that solve a specific problem. Now, looking at the objections one, they're going to do the same thing. You're going to copy and paste this prompt into, I would recommend ChatGPT. You're going to be using the same chat for all of this. So you're not going to create a new chat every time. It's just the same chat for each one or for all of these. And we're going to be looking at the objections. Now, you'll notice that we also said plus at least 2 ways we can bust each objection. And the reason that we do that is because we don't want to see just what people will say no to about the offer. We want to know how to overcome any objections that they might have. All right, so then here, the next one we have is frequently asked questions. Now that we have the offer updated and the objections, now I want you to think about the questions my audience might have about this offer and whether or not it's a right fit for them. List at least 20 questions you think my audience will have. So this is a little bit different than objections. Objections is more of the why they wouldn't buy. And then frequently asked questions, I think of it as they're interested in buying. They just need a few more details. So with objections, it's a little bit more persuasive. With frequently asked questions, it's a little bit more explanatory. List at least 20 questions you think my audience will ask the most, and then answer those questions to the best of your ability. Now, this is going to be really helpful for your sales copy. And then also, it's going to be helpful when you're doing lives or if you're talking about your offer to someone, knowing some of the things that they may say no to, or some of the reasons, some things they may be confused about, or some of the questions they may have is really helpful when you're talking to your ideal client or customer. Next, we're going to go into reasons your audience will buy. Here, you're going to say, now I want you to add to my list of reasons my audience will buy. As a reminder, my audience is, and then you're going to put information about your audience only if it seems to be giving you some funky stuff. If it's not giving you anything that's funky or that seems off about your audience, then you can cut that line out. I want you to pick unique reasons that I haven't already said. As a reminder, here are the ones I told you before. So remember earlier we talked about, let's see, I believe it was right here. And reasons I think they'll buy. So you already told it. Here's a few reasons I think they'll be interested. Now we want ChatGPT to come up with more reasons, and specifically reasons that you haven't already gone over. You can copy and paste these in if you don't want to. That's fine. You should remember them still at this point. We really want to come up with as many reasons as possible, because even though you're solving one main problem with your offer, there are going to be different things that really appeal to people more than other things. So that's why we want that. Next, we're going to go into how your audience is feeling. Now I want you to put yourself in the shoes of my audience. What feelings might this offer bring up for them? Go deep into the human psyche and imagine how they must be feeling at a deep level. I don't want surface level here. If you think you've gone deep enough, go deeper. And then finally, we get into the one problem to solve. Now, I know you may be thinking, all right, Brittany, we're going really fast. Now, remember, you can always pause if you need to pause and follow along. But my goal is to be able to help you get through this as quickly as possible, knowing that you're going to pause if you need to pause. The one problem this offer solves. So the prompts you're going to use for this, based on what I told you about my audience and my offer, what would you say is the one problem this offer solves? Does that problem matter to my audience? If not, please go deeper until you find the intersection between the one problem the offer solves and the problem my audience cares about solving. So the reason we're doing this is because there are times when I see people trying to submit an offer that is not solving a problem or not solving the main problem that the audience has. So we want to have that intersection of what is it that really matters to them and what is the problem that this solves, and finding that in between place for that. Once we've done that, we're going to go to launch sales copy. Now, before we go into that, let's go ahead and go through step one together. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning so we can do this. So I'm going to paste in my answers, and I've already done mine. So I'm going to just pause for a second and pull those up so you can see them. Here's an example of the first prompt that I put in. And again, this is from the prep guide. So I said, I'm a marketer and an AI coach who helps my audience. And then I said who my audience is: entrepreneurs who have a smaller or non-existent team, who are typically parents, but not always, who want to be less stressed so they can spend more time with their loved ones. They don't want to be snapping at their loved ones. They like their business but sometimes have a hard time not working. They're also tired and bordering on burnout and know there has to be a better way. They want to do right by their customer, clients, family, and also do right by themselves. They know they need to make more, but they feel trapped in the cycle of needing to make more, because then they can hire someone to help, but needing someone they can hire in order to make more. Right now, most of what they do comes down on them, and it's overwhelming. They sometimes wonder if they'll have to work this hard the rest of their life. Problem is that while they go above and beyond to help their audience, they don't have enough traffic or don't have the right systems in place to really scale and thrive. So they're stuck doing everything themselves or mostly themselves. They've tried hiring out, but they find VAs aren't doing what they need or ghost them. Even when they get a great VA, they don't have enough time to give feedback and train, so they're stuck at about 10K months. My ideal customer tells me how grateful they are that they're working with me, is ambitious, but also needs some gentle words of encouragement too. They have strong why to be successful, but sometimes doubt themselves. They do a great job with their customers or clients, and now it's their turn to thrive, just like they've helped others to do. Typically, they're coaches, consultants, service providers. I could also put, who want to transition out of only coaching or providing a service and also offer some products. And I'm actually going to change this to offer some digital products. Many are also membership owners and course creators. Now you'll notice that I'm editing this as I go. So if you didn't see it, there's a little pencil down here that I click to edit it. Now, this is an important part of the process because I find that when I go through these prompts, when I add these things in, there's things that I missed that I didn't think of before. So this also helps me to brainstorm. I am the right person to help them because I've been in their exact position, have the know-how and drive to help them integrate AI into their business and life. And then I went into the prompt. I'm going to tell you what I know about my audience. I want you to help me get more clear. So I'm going to save and submit. And then it's going to tell me who my audience is, just saying it back to me. And this almost feels like a brainstorming session that I would have with the team to say it back and get more clear. All right. So while that's going, I'm going to paste in some of the other prep prompts that I have. And if there's anything not correct, I would use this. I do want to go deeper. So I'm going to say go deeper into human psyche. Why does this really matter to them at a soul level, at an identity level? When you think you've gone deep enough, go deeper. Okay. So typically, I mean, what it's giving me so far is good, but typically I also add in this prompt, the go deeper on the human psyche one, because I find that it gives me more of that in-depth look instead of just a surface level kind of feedback. All right. So give me some ideas on how I can continue to get to know them better, but I'm asking them to go a little bit deeper. Yep. And this is really what I'm looking for. This deeper meaning, deeper sense of purpose in their work. They want to feel like their efforts contribute to something greater than themselves, whether that's through impacting their clients' life positively, providing for their families, or contributing to their communities. So I was still going to go a little bit deeper. So I'm going to say, why does it matter to them that they provide for their families, contribute to their communities, and you'll notice I spelled that wrong. That is okay. Or impact their clients' lives positively. Go even deeper. Okay, on a subconscious level. Now, this is going deeper too. So, level 1, level 2, level 3. So, it is continuing to go deeper. They're yearning to create something enduring, something that outlasts the immediacy of daily business transactions. It could manifest as a desire to build a brand that stands for excellence or create a family business that's passed through the generations. Okay. So, their business is an extension of themselves. Success in business affirms their self-worth and competence. Yeah. So, this is where it starts to get really deep. Whenever I get into this, I'm like, oh, I feel yeah, I feel that. Okay, so we're going deeper here. I am going to ask it to go deeper one more time just because I'm curious, because I mean, it does get quite deep on a few of these, but I do want to see if it'll go any deeper. I find that when it starts to repeat itself again and again, typically that's about as deep as we can go. All right, so I'm going to just move this out and it's question number 2. So again, this is the prep work, and then we'll go into the actual prompts that we talked about just now. The prep work is good to do in the beginning of this if you haven't already. Well, sent via email, but I'm going to go ahead and put the button below as well. All right, so question 2, what is your offer? If you know it, write down what's included here. Okay, so I already have my offer. I'm going to remove this. And for me, I'm going to just put in the link. But if you don't have it yet, you're going to just grab it real quick, pull it down. If you don't have it yet, that's okay. You're just going to give it some information there. And we can go ahead and look through the information too before we start. Okay, so here's how to get the information. I want to run a whatever kind of offer. I want it to be is it an old offer you're revamping? Is it a brand new offer? And then what is it that you want it to do? What's the problem that you want the offer to solve? And if you're not sure what the problem is, then you can say this. I'm not sure what the problem I want to solve. Please review my audience and what I do for people and make some recommendations on a problem I can solve for my audience that they want a solution to so much they'd be willing to pay for it. Describe the offer or offer revamp in as much details as possible and include what problem it can solve. So even if you don't have the offer yet, that's okay. You can still solve the problem there. So for me, I'm just going to copy and paste that link. And you'll notice that I am using ChatGPT 4. So I'm using the paid version of this. This is the one that I recommend, but you want to make sure that it's 4 because even if you have the paid version, if you're not using it a lot, it usually starts here and you'll get better results here at GPT-4 for copy anyway. All right, I'm looking to see if there's anything else I need to that's coming up for me. Okay, on the deepest level, providing for their families is not merely a financial obligation, but an expression of love and care. It's about creating a secure environment where their loved ones can flourish, reflecting a primal and seek to protect and nurture. This drive is deeply tied to their identity as parents and partners, and entwining their personal success with the well-being of their loved ones. Beyond material provision, there's a desire to pass on values, wisdom, and legacy. Okay. Contributing to their communities, addressing the fundamental human need for belonging and significance. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in. And I'm just going to say, here's my offer. Please review it and tell me how it aligns with what my audience wants based on those deep reasons we just talked about. Now, every once in a while, it's going to say, oh, I can't read this link. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to say, I know you can. Please try the link again or tell me how to prompt differently so you'll read it. Right. So sometimes you just have to remind it that it can and do that. It can indeed do that. Okay. So now it's giving some feedback. I'm going to say, great. Now, how can that program meet the needs of my audience we discussed? Okay. So now it's going to that. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the next prompt. Actually, I'm going to add in this here. So this is one of the follow-up prompts that says, yes, that's a good start. I think it's still missing some things though. Why does solving that problem really matter to them at a human level? And in your AI, if you try to think like a human, why does solving that problem matter to you so much? You'd be willing to pay for it. All right. So we have to make it an irresistible offer, consider emphasizing the transformational impact on a human level. Highlight how the program significantly reduces stress, enabling them to be fully present and joyful with their families, free from the guilt of unfinished work. All right. So I love this. I do talk about AI 200K being transformative, that my goal is not just to help people make more money, but help them to transform their lives. And so I feel pretty confident about that. The other thing I really liked about this was, oh, let's see, showcase success stories of regained passion for their business, overcoming burnout, achieving a harmonious work-life balance. So the time of this recording, we've had AI 200K for, I think, 3 or 4 months, and we're already seeing a lot of that. And we're already seeing a lot of people having great results and making more money and all those things. So I feel really confident in being able to add those in and feel very excited about it too. All right. Now we're going to go into objections. Now, this is something we're going to see later too, but I'm going to go ahead and use this prompt for now. And I'm going to copy and paste everything else out, paste that in. And you'll see with the prompts that I provide for you, it really is copy and paste, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it super easy for you to just follow this process. And again, this is the process I use for every launch now. All right, potential objections, concerns about the complexity of integrating AI, the time investment required, doubts about the return on investment. Okay, so we have testimonials that talk about people that have been able to do all that. Personalized coaching sessions, all right, I added that. Community support, added that already. It's okay with easy to implement AI tech. Yep, already have that. Okay, perfect. So then at this point, I'm feeling really good about my offer. I'm like, yep, I've done everything that I need to already. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. And that's question number 3. How will my offer help my audience? What are the benefits? Okay, so now I'm going to do this. Now that we've gone over my potential objections, let's go over the benefits. What are all the ways? And then I'm going to put my offer will help my audience. Okay. Please review everything about my offer and audience. Tell me at least 50 reasons why buying, essentially this offer to save time, will benefit them on every level possible. All right. And now at this point, we're almost through the prep work. And I hope this has given you a little bit more time to work on that and then also see how I'm doing it so that this is hopefully super helpful for you too. Okay. Let's see. Helps by maximizing productivity, enhancing decision making. I'm going to actually stop it for just a second and say, this sounds like you're talking as a business to another business. I want you to talk to me like I'm a human. Speak in human, not businessese to me. So I wanted to feel more conversational, which I could have also said, let's see. So this is giving me two different options. This will happen every once in a while. And I like this one, I think, better. Now, from a formatting standpoint, I like this because it has the bold here. Reduce overwhelm, financial freedom. Those are things that I feel like you just see everybody say. So I want something that's a little bit more specific. And that's why I'm going to go with that option. Okay. Now, if I ever want to go back to the other one, I can go here and it's going to show me the second one too. All right. Now that I have that, I'm going to add in the next one. Question number 4. Why is this offer the solution and why are you the right person to provide it? So now we're going to go ahead and add this in. Yes, that's a good start. I think it's still missing something though. Why does solving that problem really matter to them at a human level? How will their life, business, etc., change for the better? Okay. And I'm going to put end of January because that's why I'm creating this. All right. And we're almost done with all the prep work, which is very exciting. There we go. And at this point, I already have a much better offer than when I came in with. Now, I've already done this for AI 200K multiple times. So my offer doesn't look totally different. It actually doesn't look very different now because I've done this process. But when I first did this process, it went from being a good offer to really being an exceptional offer because I used what it gave me. All right. So this is some of the reasons AI 200K could significantly benefit their life. Hey, I might say in this case, I might say, give me 50 more reasons. Talk to me like you're talking to a human, not like your business talking to another business. Okay, now I'm going to just pause while that goes because 50 reasons is a lot. So I'm just going to pause for a few minutes. All right, so give us a few more here. We're going to add in this last one. Soon I'm going to have you create my sales page. I want to give you sorry, I want to get a feel, want you to get a feel for my voice tone style. Wow, it was a journey to get there. Sorry about that. Here's the same one my writing. This is an email, so the format might be different, but the voice tone and style will be the same when writing the sales page. Do not start writing the sales page yet. Please review the sample content, analyze it for tone, voice, and style, not for content. So I copy and pasted the information from an email. So it's conversational, empathetic, skillfully balancing professionalism with personal touch. You speak directly to potential concerns and objections, addressing them in a reassuring and supportive manner. All right, so this gives me a better idea and more importantly, gives ChatGPT a better idea of how I want to talk. Now let's go ahead and get the prompts from the part of the presentation we just did. All right, so step 1, analyzing your offer. We pasted in our offers. Now we're going to analyze it. And I'm going to just copy and paste this in. And again, you have that, and there's a button down below that says workshop prompts. You can paste from there. So let's see. I've already done these things here, and then I'm going to say that I want you to analyze my offer, AI to 100K, for my audience and tell me anything that needs to be added, removed, or edited based on what I told you about my audience. Now, while that's going, I'm just going to go ahead and get the next prompt as well, which is our objections one. And this is going to be giving us objections and ways to bust those objections as well. Okay. Yep. And it does that. So that's perfect. Let's see. Personal support. Yep. We have that. Okay. Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to press enter on that. These are the 20 objections and then also how to bust those objections. So objection, and it really isn't a high cost like at all. So that's interesting that came up. And maybe thinking that the price point is per month and not for the year. So that's something that I can address there to make sure that's super clear. Let's see. And we do have a flexible payment plan already. So that's great. Let's see. Okay. So how to save them time and how it made it simple for them. So I really like this because sometimes I won't think of certain objections, maybe because it's not an objection that I would have. So it's not something that comes up for me. So I really like this because it helps me figure out what the objections might be. And then also gives me the ways to bust it. I find sometimes if I just ask for objections, I'm like, oh my gosh, I stink. Everything stinks. My offer stinks. But then when I have the how to bust into, I'm like, well, yeah, okay, it is amazing. I think it's important to have both the objections and then how to bust the objection as well. Let's see. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab that next one. We did the objections already. I think we did anyway. I'll check there. Okay. So I asked for 10. It gave me 20. I can say, please continue if I wanted more, but I feel satisfied with that. All right. So now that we have the offer date updated on the objections, and now I want you to think about is the questions that my audience might have. So again, the objections need to be a little bit more persuasive, whereas the questions are a little bit more informative. So how much time do I need to dedicate weekly? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so these are things that people just might be curious about. When people have questions, it's a good thing because it means that they're considering it. If there are no questions, then that means that they're probably not considering it. So it's not a bad thing to have questions, but if we can answer them ahead of time, that's even better. All right. I'm just going to read through and see if there's any questions there that I don't agree with or I need to change. Hey, it's looking good so far. I like that I highlighted the step-by-step guidance. That's good. All right. Now I want you to add a list of my reasons my audience will buy. And then because it still seems to be remembering my audience, I'm going to take that part out. I want you to pick unique reasons. Okay. And I'm going to just take this one out as a reminder for your ones I told you before. And I'm going to just say use only different and unique reasons that I haven't already shared with you. Okay. And there we go. All right. So we have so far come up with and clarified who our audience is, why they would want it, what the objections are, what questions they may have, all the things that we really need in a sales page. And we're just getting them piece by piece first. Okay. I'm going to say, please continue. Give me, we'll say 20 more reasons. So you'll see there aren't a ton of reasons here. And one of those reasons is because I've already done this process. And so we have a lot of reasons already on there. In fact, on the sales page, I think it's like, I want to say 26 or 27 reasons already. So that's already a lot. This is an interesting one. Disaster preparedness, unforeseen challenges. Their business will be able to stand because it has stuff running for them. So that makes sense. And I hadn't talked about that. So that's a good thing to add in. Okay. So lots of really good ideas here. I can say, please continue, or I can go on. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. But if I want to, I could say, please continue. All right. This one is interesting. So this one is what feelings might it bring up for them? So it might give them hope, maybe some fear. Will this really work for me? Overwhelm. I don't know where to start. So this gives me an idea of some things that I need to cover in the sales page and in the emails too. You'll notice it is also giving me not pros and cons, but like positive and emotions that we think of as negative emotions, which I think is really interesting. I like having both of them though, because it gives me an idea of what I need to cover and the tone of the sales page. Now we're going to go into the one problem that it solves, and then we'll go back to the prompts and we'll do a little bit of time here with this. I hope you've enjoyed seeing behind the scenes. I know for me, I really like seeing behind the scenes. I really like seeing examples and models of it. And so I hope being able to see that has been helpful for you. In AI 200K, we do a lot of that where people get to see behind the scenes. Okay, the one problem that the AI 200K offer seems to solve is breaking the cycle of entrepreneurial burnout and stagnation. It addresses a core issue named to grow and scale a business without sacrificing personal well-being and family time. This problem deeply matters to your audience as it directly aligns with their desire for professional success, personal fulfillment, and sustainable work-life balance. That's exactly what I was going for, so I am very pleased about that. All right, so now we're going to go into the actual launch copy. So let me pull this back up here. And again, you'll have all these prompts below. All right, so we have the sales page. We're going to say this. Now that we've created the background for my audience, I want you to create the sales page copy outline. Now, we always do the outline first. I find that if I ask to do the full sales page, what it gives me is a very short, pretty crappy sales page, and I don't want that. So we want to do outline first, give it feedback on what we like and don't like, and then we take it one piece at a time. So we're going to start with the first section. So the first section is going to be like the intro section or the problem. And so it's going to go over that first. And then once we have that, we'll say, I like this, but I don't like that. And we'll do that a few times. And then we'll move on to section 2, and we'll continue on for all of that. Finally, after we've done that, we're going to review the sales page. You'll say, now I'm going to copy and paste the whole sales page, and I want you to review it. You're reviewing it for the probability that it'll convert at least X% of viewers. So right now, I believe if I remember off the top of my head, average conversion is like 1 to 3%, unless it's during Black Friday, which is much higher. And so I'm going to say at least 3%. knowing that's on that higher end of the conversion as far as average conversion goes. And then you'll notice it also asks to review for voice and tone. And then we're going to go into sales email. So let's go ahead and get the prompts for the sales page first and do that together. And then we'll go into the rest. So here I have, now that we've created the background for my audience, I want you to create the sales copy outline. So there we go. And while that's coming up, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the next one. Actually, I'll wait and see if there's anything I want to change. So I have headline, subheadline, problem address, revising understanding, introduction to the solution. I think before introduction to the solution, I want why AI makes sense as a solution. So I'm going to say, I like this, except let's add in, let's see, 4.5, which is why AI is the solution. Then 5, why AI to 100K is the solution, even more than just AI. Okay. Everything else looks pretty good. All right. So if you get to this where you're like, oh man, I've reached my limit, I would not recommend doing the emails on 3.5. So there's a few things we can do. We can copy and paste all of this into Claude, CLAUDE.ai. And that works really well if you are in the US. If you're not in the US, at least at the time of this recording, it will not work for you, which is a total bummer. I don't want to use the default model. If I click that, it won't let me continue. I'm going to wait until after this time so that I can continue on in the same chat. For now, I'm going to just pause while I wait for that to happen, and then I can go on to the next part. All right, so my message limit has increased. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it out. So I'm going back to my prompts that I had here. And I'm going to this part where it says, let's start with the first section, every section with headline, subheadline, etc. All right. So I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to specify what part I'm talking about when I'm talking about the first section. So we have the headline, subheadline, and problem address. That's really what I want to cover. Let's start with first section, numbers 1 through 3. And then we press enter. Let's see what we get. Okay, so what I got was okay, but it was not great. And so I do like that it talks about this. You embarked on the entrepreneurial journey, fueled by passion and a vision for a better life. Somewhere along the way, the balance tip, the late nights, endless tasks. I like that. I don't like that it talks about AI 200K already up here. And some of it is a little bit weak, like this AI 200K recognizes a struggle and offers more than a solution. It offers a transformation. I just don't love that. So I said, I want you to think like an expert copywriter. Is this how an expert copywriter would write? Will this be specific enough to keep someone reading? Should we mention the name of the program already when we're just talking about the problem headline, subheadline? I want you to think about my audience, who they are and what they want at a deep level. Do you want me to remind you of any of this? No, it already did some of that when it talks about this part, but I really wanted to update it. So I'm going to press enter there. Okay. So I like this better. The headline and subheadline I still feel like are a little bit weak. So I would probably update those myself. You've been at the crossroads of aspiration and exhaustion where the treatment. Okay. I don't like when it says you're not just blah, 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 you're doing this, just because I see ChatGPT doing that a lot. So I would probably take that out myself. So I'd say you're seeking transformation, a shift from being constantly overwhelmed, feeling genuinely empowered. I'm going to say, this is better, but it sounds like you're talking to a business, not a person. I want this to be so emotional, it makes them cry. Now, it doesn't actually have to be that emotional, but I find that if I say that, I usually get more of what I want instead of it sounding too businessy or instead of it sounding too cold. No. Okay. Let's see. This sounds too flowery and too vague. Like, what does when dreams whisper amongst chaos even mean? Okay, so you'll notice that I'm talking to it like I would talk to a person. where I'm like, no, this is to this, or yes, I like this. No, I don't like this. By doing that, by having the conversation with it instead of just taking what it gives me, I'm able to get a lot closer to what I'm looking for. The kryptonite is not just the unfinished task that haunt you, it's a silent longing. Okay, I like this better. I'm gonna take out this part, but otherwise I like it. This button sucks. Try again. Think like an expert copywriter. Don't mention AI 200K until we get to number 4.5. Okay. Now I'm close enough where I can make some edits myself. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna make edits to the button myself. The reason I don't like this, the begin your journey to fulfillment, is it's just super big. And I've never met anyone who's, you know what I really want? I'm going to start my journey to fulfillment. They may say things that allude to that. They may say things that, that it's actually what they mean, but I've never really heard anybody ever say that. And I notice I spend a lot of time on this first section. I find that if I spend more time on this first section, the rest of it goes a lot smoother. The emails go a lot smoother. Like this one here, I said, it still sounds like you're talking to a business or entity, not an actual person. I've never heard anyone say, you know what I really want? I want to be in my journey to fulfillment. No, people don't talk about that as the outcome they want. What's the outcome my audience would want? Why would they even bother reading the rest of the sales page? What is it going to give them? So this one, reclaim your time and peace. I like that one much better. So we're going to go with that one. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the next section. So I already did what I like, what I don't like. And now I'm going to copy and paste this in. Okay. And section 2, I'm just going to see what we had there. Okay. 4, we'll do 4, 4.5. Right, 4.5. Right, and I'm just being specific. I find that if I'm specific, it's a little bit better. And then the rest of them, I can do 5, 6, 7, all individually. But I really want to make sure 4 and 4.5 are together because that's talking about the solution. Okay, I would change the word harness. I see that word a lot with ChatGPT, so I would change that one. Okay, so same thing that we talked about earlier. I've never heard anyone that's, you know what, I really want to embed AI to the very fabric of my business with a human touch. So I want it to be a little bit more human. So I'm going to make some edits here. So here's the edits I made. I said, talk like my audience would talk. I've never heard anyone say, you know what I want? I want to embed AI into the very fabric of my business with a human touch. People don't talk that way, and that's not really what they want. They want a business that doesn't drain them and overwhelm them. They don't want to feel guilty about being with their family, about not being with their family at dinner because they're on a work trip. They don't care about getting on board with AI. They care about what it can do for them. Think about my audience while you're writing this, the actual human behind it. Make it so emotional they want to cry. All right. Now I think that's going to give us pretty much what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this next prompt again, and then go to the next sections. Okay, so I like this a lot better. I would take this part out that it's not about boarding the AI bandwagon because that doesn't really, I don't think that would really speak to them. You'll notice that there's a few times where I'm like, no, that doesn't sound like what my audience wants. Knowing what they want really comes with getting clear on who your audience is. The clearer you are on that, the better, which is why we spent so much time doing the prep work earlier. Okay. So there's a few things I'd edit here, but overall, I really like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and do section 3, which is going to be, let's see, I think numbers. Let's see. And do 5 and 6. Okay, and I'm just looking at the other numbers. So then I'm going to skip 8 because I'll have the testimonials throughout. So next will be 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay. Now, what I got for this, which was talking about what's included, was really vague. And I was like, nobody's going to have any idea what's included in this. Why would it give this to me? And then I realized I didn't actually tell it what's included. So, of course, it's struggling to figure that out. So, I just listed everything that's included and then I put it in here. And now I should get much better copy for what's included. Now, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and put in the next part. Once you finish going through every section, you're going to analyze your sales page. I'm going to skip this for now just for the sake of time and go into the next part, which is your launch sales emails. So just like the sales page, we're going to do the outline first, and we'll start with the pre-launch emails. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this prompt. So here I started with this. Now it's time to write my pre-launch emails. Based on what you know about my audience, please use the pre-launch emails to write only the first pre-launch email one. Now, the reason I'm asking it only to write the first pre-launch email is that if I ask it to write all 4 at once, it's going to give me super short and pretty crappy emails. So I am copying and pasting all of this in, but I'm not going to ask it to create the first 4 emails all at once, only the first email. So here's what that looks like. Okay, so we have this one. I always take out the hey name part. This is not super helpful. If you want to add the name and still you can say name. Have you ever found yourself? So Brittany, have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. instead of hey name? This extra word here is not a good hook. And so that's why I always take it out. All right. So overall, I really like this. The only thing I would probably change is instead of saying, I'm curious what keeps you up most at night, I would probably say, I'm curious which one sounds more like you. I'm stressed out by my never-ending to-do list. I'm tired of missing feeling dinners and important moments. Yeah. Okay. But otherwise, it looks good. So then now I'm going to say, great, now do your email too. And I'm just going to specify relaunch email too. I've already given it the outline. So all I needed to say there was which one that I need. And I'm going to basically do the same thing for the other 2 after this. And then I'm going to go into the launch emails. So pre-launch email number 2 was a free resource, and this looks good. I would not talk about a sneak peek into the program yet. I would talk about why a free resource is going to help them. So I'm just going to say, this is a good start, but let's not talk about AI to 100K yet. Instead, focus on how that free resource will help them. Why should they use it right away? Now, one thing I'm going to also say here is that I don't have a particular free resource for this. So I'm just going to say, please make up the free resource. And sometimes I'll do that too when I'm like looking for a bonus and I'm not sure exactly what I want to offer. Now, after this, what I would do is update the subject line. My favorite tool for subject lines is subjectline.com. This is a free tool to use and it analyzes your subject line for likelihood that it will convert. I don't like subject lines unlock your time. Free guidance site sounds good, but like your first step to a breakthrough. So I would use subjectline.com to help with that. And the benefits need to be a little bit more clear. So I would say that, or they need to be more specific. So I'm going to say these need to be more specific. These are too vague. These could be applied to almost anything. Be specific about how this specific freebie will help them. And I hope it's helpful for you to see behind the scenes of the back and forth of it. I know I like to see that when people are doing stuff. So I hope that's helpful for you. All right. Your time's precious. So packed with actionable tips, it means nothing. It's vague. No one cares about that because it's not specific enough to care. Give me bullet points on how this will help them. Let's see. Give an example of someone it helped already. Now, this is something that I would need to go in personally and update. These is obviously not going to know any examples of who this has helped, but I can go in myself and make those updates. All right, this is a lot more specific. This is more what I'm looking for. Perfect. Now, I'm going to skip the next two pre-launch emails just for the sake of time. I basically will follow the same copy and paste, like, all right, now do pre-launch email number 3, just like these did. For the most part, those were pretty good. There's a few things I might edit as I go in to make it sound a little bit more appealing, but overall, I'm good with that. Like I mentioned before, subjectline.com, the call to action. So let me go back to these real quick. So the pre-launch one, I asked them to reply with A, B, C, or D. I found that gets the most replies. And the reason I want replies is because it helps with deliverability. In pre-launch email 2, I want to give them a free resource. I find that leading up to a launch, giving a free resource helps a lot with actually converting when it comes to the offer. Next, reply with how solving this problem will impact them, and then get the offer live time on their calendar. So basically, pre-launch email 4 is when I start talking about the offer and start getting pumped about it. And then pre-launch email 3, I'm helping basically pre-sell them of why this is going to help you so that they already identify that something like AI 200K is going to solve a problem for them, if that's true, obviously, which in their case it is. All right, now it's time to write the first email using the outline you edited. Okay, we already did this actually, so I'm just going to skip that one into the launch emails. I used to have where I would do the outline and then we would have it edit the outline, but I actually like doing it the way that we did it today better. So I just forgot to take that out. All right. So launch emails, we're going to do the outline first and we're going to copy and paste this in. Now it's time to create the launch emails. I want you to start with an outline. There were 8 emails total and I have the outline here for you. Create, and you'll notice that the outline for this one is a lot more vague, only because the launch emails, some of it's going to depend on the timing in order to get that like urgency in it. So if I'm doing Black Friday launch emails, for example, that's going to look slightly different. But overall, this is the general outline it's going to follow. Let's see. Create an outline for each email based on what you know about my audience, my offer, and the a very light outline I create already. Each email should address one objection and cover one micro angle. Do not write the emails yet. Okay. So I have it create the outline for this first because the outline for pre-launch emails were more specific. That's why I didn't have a create an outline, but for this one I am, because the outline for this one is very vague. So I wanted to create a better outline. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. All right, now that we have the outline and the outline looks pretty good. Again, I would change the subject line, but overall, looking at it, it looks pretty good. There's not really anything I would change here. The next thing that I'm going to do is go to our next prompt. If there's anything I want to change about the outline, I would change that, but then I'm going to go ahead and write the emails. And I want to write one email at a time. Again, if I ask it to write more, it's going to not be very good. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter on that. And I have yet again reached my limit. So I will be back in a little bit to finish this out. I will say that normally I don't reach my limit when I'm doing these. GPT is a little bit finicky today. Again, when that happens, you can either have ChatGPT, you can either use Claude. You can use 3.5 if you want, but for copy, I prefer ChatGPT, the paid version, or Claude, or you can just wait until it's coming back on. But now that I'm getting more of what I want, I probably won't reach that cap again. All right, now that I have messages back, I went ahead and put in this prompt. Now it's time to write the first email only. Do you need me to remind you about my offer, potential objections, and how to bust them, or reasons my audience might buy? Remember, in addition to the outline, we want to address one micro angle and one objection. It should sound like me to review my conversation with you and should be extremely specific. I don't want vague platitudes. So the reason I added that was because today ChatGPT has been giving me a lot of vague sort of stuff or something really specific because that does better. So I said this should have a strong call to action to learn more. This is email one, so usually I use a call to action like learn more at the beginning. So this definitely sounds like me. I'm going to say this isn't specific enough. They won't walk away knowing what AI 200 cans from this email. Try again. So while it sounds like me, it is very unclear and vague as to what it is, like what the actual program is, which makes me think they may need me to reiterate what the offer is. So you see how short this is? This makes me think this isn't remembering what it is. So I'm going to go back to the website, sales page rather, review the sales page and try it. Right. So you see how it said I can't review this directly. Sometimes it does that where it'll say, oh, I can't review this or I can't access this. When that happens, you can either say, yes, you can, and it usually will right away, or you can just go here, copy it, and then put it in. But it's a good thing that we added that in because it clearly didn't remember. Okay, I like this much better. Okay, I like that. So now I'm going to go back. All that's finishing up. We just come back here for a second. All right, so we added in the prompt. I want to look at the hook. So is the first sentence good? Is it the first sentence when you're going to want to continue reading? Look at the subject line. I think about the goal of the email. So the goal of the email is to get them to the offer. Does it do that? And does the call to action essentially, does the call to action get them to the offer? All right, so we're going to continue doing that. We would do the same thing for all 8 emails. Essentially, what I'm going to do after this first one is say, now do the same thing for email 2. Here's the outline for email 2. Now, because ChatGPT has been a little bit funky today, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste if I can find it, the outline. All right, I think I went too far. Sorry about that. So I'm going to go back and copy and pasting the outline makes it easier for it to be like, oh, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's in here somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. I'm going to leave it for now just for the sake of time. I forgot that I put the sales page copy in, so that's where it's really getting stuck. There's a lot of that. Okay. So this means it's not remembering it, probably because I gave it a lot of content. So I'm going to just stop it there and then I will search through. I can also do Control F or Command F on a Mac and type in email 2 and then just look for it that way. There we go. And since I'm here, I'm going to just go ahead and copy all of them, but I only release one at a time. So I'm going to put that in and take out email 31. Just copy these. There we go. And so then that's what I'll do for the rest of them. Introduce AI 200K, a game changer for your business. I would say something different because game changer is one of those words that you see a lot. Okay. So then I'm going to say this is far too simple and short to be a launch email. Review the sales page, copy again, and the email outline. and think like an expert email marketing ghostwriter and try again. Okay. And something interesting happened. So it said that it couldn't browse directly from external websites, which first of all, it can, but also forgot that I told it about the program already. So I reminded it. I said I copy and pasted the sales page above, remember? So then I created the email I was looking for. I do want to add a little bit more about why this will matter to them, but I can pretty much do it on my own. That's something simple I can add in. So then the next one I would do is launch email 3. And I'm glad that it's being a little bit ornery now because it just does that sometimes. And I'd rather have you see it with me, walk me through it, than you having to deal with it on your own. So hopefully this has been helpful to see both the ups and downs of this and how to handle it. So all of these are too short. So I'm going to say way too short. Review the sales page above. Sales page copy that I copy and pasted just to be extra clear so I don't get another message of why it's not working. All right. Now, while that's happening, I think we'll probably get what we want there. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the social piece just for the sake of time. I think we've gone through enough of this. Hopefully, you see how to do that. So now we're going to come up with your strategy. And so that looks like this. I'm promoting offer on whatever dates. I'd like your help creating the social post to promote the offer. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that, grab that prompt, and then head on over here. And this talks about the community piece of it. I'm going to add this in, and we'll say that I'm going to do January 30th through February 2nd. And just for the sake of time, we're just going to put a social post. I'm not going to specify pre-launch or launch. And I'll just say my emails are in the chat. Okay. And there we go. And now it's going to be able to create these posts for me. So we have a lot of shorter things we can do, or we can use these for to create social posts from. The next thing I said is I want you to create a Facebook post that is a launch post for my offer. I want the Facebook post to generate excitement and curiosity around my offer and talk about the problem the offer solves without using words like problem, offer, or solves. So we have, are you ready to embrace a year where your business flourishes and your life is your own again? It's time to welcome new era with AI 200K. No more late night struggling tasks or missed precious moments. Yeah, I love this. Right. Okay. So we have a Facebook prompt. You can also do a transcript, but if you have the sales page or the sales copy, it's not really necessary. Let me go ahead and get this back up here. All right. To follow up, you can say, I like this, but I don't like this. I actually really like this one. I'm not planning on changing anything. So what I'm going to do next is say, great. Now let's create another one that's unique. It doesn't have the same text or focus / micro angle as this one. And that's going to take just a second while that's going, just for the sake of time. We have some Instagram posts that we can create too. Now, usually I can create 2 to 3 Instagram posts for every one Facebook post. And for whatever reason, it just seems to work best that way. So that's why I'm doing that. So here we have, this is the Facebook post number 2. Dive into a journey where your entrepreneurial spirit meets the genius of AI. Imagine a place where every click aligns with your goals and your business not only grows, but supports the life you love. Okay. So again, we see AI 200K is more than or isn't just blah, blah, blah. I would change that just because it sounds like ChatGPT to me. I might also say, let's add in a little bit more of a story so they understand why this matters. And then I'm going to get my Instagram one ready. I'm just going to say use what I've told you so far. All right. Imagine a day in your life where every business decision is backed by intelligence. For every moment is not about stress. Okay. So this is not a story. Make up a story that illustrates what the last post about. So for this one, I'm looking for more of a analogy. I'm not looking for something that's step by step. Here's what happened, or turn by turn. Here's what this person did. I really just want an analogy that will demonstrate what I'm talking about. What's a tot? No. What the? This story should feel authentic, interesting, juicy, and there's something else I was thinking. Let's see. And heartfelt. Shouldn't be so emotional. It makes them cry. Do you need me to remind you who my audience is? Should fix it. I'm gonna get this ready. That I like. Yep, I like that much better. Okay, perfect. So now I'm gonna go, and the reason I like it is because of the story. I would I would probably change it a little bit so it's more accurate from one of the testimonials I've gotten. But the story piece of it is solid. Um, so overall, I really like it. I just want to make sure that it's accurate. All right. So for the Instagram post, I said, now I want you to create 2 Instagram posts. Use what I've told you so far for voice, tone, style, and content. You can also use the pre-launch emails for content, voice, tone, or style. The goal is to generate excitement and curiosity around my offer. So that would be for pre-launch, but it could work for launch too. I'm going to stop it and I'm going to say, this sounds too much chat GPT. I want you to sound human, like you're talking from one person to another. It should be authentic, heartfelt, and interesting. Now, normally I don't have to add that. Normally I'm able to use what I've already done to create server on point right away. But again, sometimes ChatGPT is just a little bit ornery. Okay, so that would be for pre-launch. Now, if I wanted your launch emails, let me come back here and I'm going to say the same thing, but instead of pre-launch, I'm just going to say launch. So now I want you to create 2 Instagram posts using what you have so far for tone, voice, content. You can also use the launch emails above for content, voice, style. The goal is to send people to my offer. All right. And so let's see what we get here. You'll even notice that what's being put out right now is much slower than what might normally be put out. That can happen when there's like an overload of people using it. It can happen when they're making updates. So just the weirdness of it as far as like how much extra prompting I've had to do that I normally don't have to do. And then how slow it's been makes me think there might be some kind of update going on. Okay, those are decent. I can make a few edits, but overall I like that. And then let's go ahead and get 2 story scripts. I'm going to change this to 60 seconds or more. So this is important. If you say, tell me exactly what to say second by second, you should get a script. If you don't say that, you're going to get more of an outline. For TikTok and Reels, I don't mind having a script. For longer form video, I prefer to be able to have more of an outline. Right. And so it's making that story script for me. Again, I could make this TikTok instead of Instagram. But it's really important to say that second by second part, because that's really going to get you closer to what you're looking for as far as the script goes. All right. So we have done, just to kind of recap, we have done, I think, 2 or 3 pre-launch emails. We've done 3 or 4 launch emails, and we could continue going on just for the sake of time. We've done Facebook posts, Instagram stories, which could also be used on TikTok. We've come up with our sales copy. We clarified our audience, went deeper on that. We have covered a lot of ground today. All right, so we have covered a lot today. We refined your offer, we've created the sales copy, we've gone into your audience, we've done the pre launch and launch emails, the pre launch and launch social. So we've covered a lot in here. And this is something you can use time and again. But imagine if this was done already next month so that you are making money on a launch next month. Or maybe you don't want to launch every month. Let's say you would, or launch it once a quarter or once a year. Imagine if this was already done next quarter or next year. Can you see how this process can provide more security through offers that are more fully fleshed out and sales content? So you have a business ecosystem, not just a product. A lot of times I see people creating product after product, but not have fully fleshed out offers, not have the sales content to support that. So they only have products that they have to continue to sell and sell because they don't have a business ecosystem with it. You could have AI, marketing, and copy review support. If you had more visibility for stages, podcasts, and more, as we all know, more visibility equals easier ways to make money. The more visible you are, the easier it is to have people want to buy from you, even if you're not hard selling. Done for you prompts that are tested and true, and copy and content not reliant on a pricey copywriter. And I say that as somebody who is a pricey copywriter, who anytime I do write copy for someone, I do charge quite a bit because I know what I produce is really good. But with the right prompts, you could produce something really good too and not have to worry about not having unlimited time. You can do it quickly. So, in a time where everyone is preaching scarcity, instability, and the unknowns, I choose to ask, what can I do? So, this is a particularly interesting time where we see a lot of unknowns, a lot of people saying, oh, I need to pull back on my business, or there's not enough buyers. The truth is, there are enough buyers as long as we're asking the right questions. So, for me, I ask the question, what can I do? What steps can I take to provide a safety net for my business? And over the past year, I've used AI to do that. I've used it to make more money and create content faster without losing quality. Faster offers to speak directly to my audience, like the one I'm about to tell you today. Easier sales with bots and other tools with fewer hires. No more Frankensteining. So if you're tired of slapping stuff together, duct taping it, hoping it will all stick together and not fall apart, keep on listening and you're in the right place. So if you're not interested in any of that, you're all done for today. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you all the best, whether you're doing a Black Friday offer, maybe an offer in January or March, whatever it is. I wish you all the best on your offer, all the best on your launch. And if you're not interested in learning more about how you can earn more with AI, how you can save time with AI, then that's it for you for today. Thanks for being here. Now, for everyone else, if you want to increase your revenue with the help of AI, if you want to do it in a way that focuses on ease, and I should also say, so I don't actually have a polar bear, obviously. These are some of the AI created images that I made using that training, actually, that you'll all get for staying to the very end. And so it's really pretty easy to make once you get into it. But these are some of the silly images I've been making. Anyway, if you want to do it in a way that focuses on ease and you're tired of starting from scratch every single month, or feel like you're pivoting or changing direction for a quick cash injection, again, every single month. Quick cash injections are not a bad thing, but if you're doing it every single month, that's not a strategy. That is just flying by the seat of your pants. And I've been there, so I understand it. But especially with AI, we don't have to do it that way anymore. We can do it in a much more peaceful way. We can create our business in a much more peaceful way. If you want support for someone who's in it with you for the long haul, not just for a quick buck, if you're tired of coming up with something new to sell every single month, if you want to use AI but worry it's not going to give you the best copier content, if you want to coach but can't afford $2,500 a month which is what a lot of coaches are charging right now as you're building up your business. And if you want to increase your security and decrease your risk. So if you want to be able to create first of the month sales, have an ecosystem, not just random products. If you want to be able to generate additional income, have more visibility for consistency, have peace of mind copy, create connections and support, and be able to evergreen and automate your content offers, all while decreasing your risk. So not hiring a $2,500 a month coach, not hiring additional people for your team, not hustling all the time, and not wasting time Frankensteining, hoping it'll all stay together. That is where AI 200K comes in. Now, this is everything that's included in AI 200K. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what all of this looks like. With AI 200K, I tell people my goal is not just for you to earn more. It is transformation. I am not really in the money making field. I'm in the transformation field. And so if you want this to be your best year, not just with your finances, not just with your products, but if you want this to be the best year where you are creating a life of peace while also building your business, that's what we're here for. This program is a year-long program. It is not a membership. It is not a subscription. The reason is that I see a lot of people creating those kind of things, subscriptions, memberships, or even like here's a 4-week program or 6-week program. Problem with that is that it requires you to be fully present for those 4 weeks, those 6 weeks, that month. And I don't know a single person, especially business owners, who are able to commit that kind of time. I don't know anyone who says, oh, yeah, I have totally 6 weeks where I can totally commit to this. And so I created this to be a year-long program because I wanted something that was sustainable and not chaotic, something that didn't follow a lot of the trends that we see as far as diet trends, where it's, oh, just do this workout or eat this way for 12 weeks and it will completely change your life and you'll never go back to what you were doing before or something along those lines. Those things just don't work. Statistically, they don't work. But on the other hand, if you do something that incorporates habits, if you do something that incorporates small, smart steps, that's where we see lasting change. And like I said, I am in the transformation business. I am interested in helping you see a transformation. And that requires a longer term commitment than just a month or 4 weeks, or I guess 4 weeks is a month, but a month or 6 weeks, or just push for 90 days. That is chaotic and not sustainable. And honestly, it's not stickable. So if you want access to a coach, copywriter, tech person, prompt engineer, you want ongoing skills or cohort support, copy support, prompt and marketing support, if you want easy to follow tutorials and my prompts for every single launch for an entire year, if you want feedback, copy and content with fewer hires in less time, if you want to follow the Friday off framework. So we follow this framework, which helps me take every Friday off for the last few years, or most Fridays, I guess I should say. Every once in a while I'll work because I can't quite stay away from it sometimes. I love it. But most Fridays off, I show you what we do to make that happen. Now, Friday off framework is a clear pathway to using AI to bring in more sales, more fulfillment, and just essentially make things easier for you. Step 1, we identify your best offer. And if you're not sure what your best offer is yet, we'll cover that. You'll use AI to edit and update it. In step 2, you'll launch at the bare minimum. Step 3, you'll use AI to edit, increase your average cart value, and add the next layer for the next launch. And then step 4 is evergreen. Now, what you'll notice is that none of these are like, create all your content the first time and it has to be amazing. It is very peaceful. It is very sustainable. We start with that launch at the bare minimum to make sure that people are interested and that you'll actually get it out there. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to, even in AI 200K, that up until now, they hadn't launched anything. And it wasn't because they didn't have something to launch. It's because they kept talking themselves out of it, or they felt like they had to have everything perfect. By doing it this way, you actually get something out there. And even if most people make money that first launch, but even if you didn't, you would have the assets to be ready for the next one. And so with doing this, you're able to start generating income, start generating revenue, even though it's not perfect, even though it's not completely done, like the launch materials, the launch emails, the launch social. Even if you have a little bit, you're still going to make more money than if you don't put anything out there at all. And so with Friday Off Framework, we show you how to do that. Everything about this is peaceful. sustainable, and a way to make money without constantly requiring more time from you or a new hire. Now, when I first started doing this, that was uncomfortable for me because I felt like I had to be always working, that if I worked just a bit harder, things would work out. The problem with that is that it's just simply not true. Working harder does not always mean better results. In fact, a lot of times what I found from folks is that working harder will burn them out instead of getting better results. And the way we're doing it, like I said, peaceful, sustainable, non chaotic, so that you can get better results without working yourself to the bone. The reason this matters to me, so my dad had two major strokes. It was about 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I remember visiting him while he was in ICU, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And it was just a really scary time. One thing he told me was, I wish I had spent more time with you and your brother. And that has always stuck with me. When I first started my own business, I was definitely headed down the same path, that I'd be in that ICU years from now instead, because I was overworking, I was stressing myself out, I was burning myself out. And when he told me that, I thought, I have to find a better way than what I'm doing right now. And it's taken a while to get here and stuff. And I don't know if it would have been as possible without AI, but with AI, there's just a lot more that's doable, a lot more that's possible, because we don't necessarily need more money for another hire. We just need to know how to prompt AI and use AI to be that extra person for us. And it can be uncomfortable to say, I'm not going to stress myself out. I'm not going to put myself in a position of burnout anymore. I can still make money even though I am not working all the time, even though I'm taking Fridays off, even though I'm spending time with my family. Um, and so this is something that was just a mindset thing I had to get over, is it's okay for me to do that. It's okay for me to make money, and really good money, even though I'm not working all the time. So why people love AI to 100K? We have, at this point, we have so many testimonials, even from just the first people that have been in since November, but I just picked a few here for you to see. So this person made their money back before they even officially started. So we have the start date towards the beginning of the month, like the official one, but people are able to get access and get started right away if they want. And so these people, like this person, started right away. They made $1,100 before they even officially began the program with me. This was just from what they learned from this workshop and what they saw from the program already. This person made 1,200 course sales. They hadn't even finished all the homework. 3,000 a day yesterday, some sales calls. Sorry. This is the most activity all at once that has happened since my agency since I launched, somebody else recouping their investment before the program even officially begins. They use this workshop actually to launch emails for a mastermind. They had 2 people sign up for a 10K mastermind. They appreciated that they're able to not just come at this from approach of making more money, but also from the approach of self-care and becoming the person of who we know deep down we can be. That's not just, oh, make more money. It's really a holistic approach to you as a business owner. All right, so here's the logistics of what you'll get in AI to 100K. You'll get monthly live launch prompts with new angles. You'll get the most important thing, which is an easy to follow weekly schedule that gets you more visible, because we all know that making you more visible makes it easier to make money. You'll have monthly copy reviews that you can submit, monthly live group coaching calls with replays available, a monthly live Q&A call, weekly implementation thread, quarterly training from a highly esteemed mindset coach. And actually, I just want to say, this is my mindset coach. This is the person that I worked with for the past 4 or 5 years that has really been very impactful in my life and in my business. And so when I wanted to do this, I knew I had to ask her, and she said yes. I was so thankful. And so that's the person that I'm bringing in. The Friday Up Club framework, you'll also get monthly step-by-step AI training that builds on itself. So instead of buying a bunch of different programs and piecing them together, hoping they all fit, trying to figure out how they all work together, this just builds on itself so that you are actually moving forward. Instead of feeling like you're just walking in a straight line, this is you're actually going upstairs. You're getting to that next level. We have quarterly guest experts on AI income streams, optional guilds or cohorts for peer support, success tracking challenges, 1K the first day plan. And this is every first of the month. This is something you can use to make money that first day of the month. I find that having a way to make money the first day of every month gives me a lot of peace of mind, knowing that I'm starting the month strong. I'm not starting the month feeling behind, which a lot of times folks will tell me, oh, I 7 days in, I haven't made any money. That's really stressful. And so we want to make sure that you're making money the first day of every month, or the first Monday of every month, or the first week of every month. But that gives you a feeling of being ahead, a feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of I can do this. And that's sometimes that small win is all you need. Evergreen training. The evergreen training is so you can automate, so you're not constantly having to create new things. So you can use what you already have. Right. So when you join today, there's a few other things you're going to get. You're going to get 3 days of one-on-one messaging through Voxer, WhatsApp, or Facebook. This is really great because you can ask any questions that you have. We can brainstorm together. You can have me create custom prompts for you. Whatever you want during those 3 days of one-on-one messaging, that is all you. Now you may think, Brittany, does that mean that I can get on a call with you? So I don't actually do calls like that, like one-on-one calls. I charge $9.97 an hour for my consulting. And we really wanted to make sure that we kept this program affordable so as many people as possible could utilize it and really gain that transformation. And with the 3 days of one-on-one messaging, you can message, like I said, Facebook, Voxer, WhatsApp. You can do the voice messages, you can do the text ones. But either way, this is so that you can use it when you need it over those 3 days, not just in the 10 or 15-minute call where you try to squeeze everything in. Because what I've learned is that sometimes things will come up after a call, and so this really helps you get the most you can out of our time together. So that is the next thing. So if you want feedback, great. We have that here. If you want accountability, we have that too. If you want group coaching, yes, we have that. If you want to ask me questions, I'm in the Facebook group Monday through Thursday for that very reason. If you want tested prompts so the AI can work for you, yes, you get that. If you want a clear path to make your investment back on the first of every month, we got that too. So the time is now because your next money making opportunity is coming up soon. So every month we are making sure that we're talking about our offer. We're making sure that we have revenue coming in. And that next time that we're going to be as a group doing that is coming up really soon. Now, you never have to do it at the same time as everyone else. I very much encourage you while you're doing AI to 100K, I very much encourage you to do what's best for you at this time. So if you are, let's say it's, December, you want to spend time with your family, you might not want to be doing a lot of launching. You might not want to be doing a lot of live stuff. And so maybe we're just putting in a few emails that you've sent before and sending those again and automating that. Or maybe you're not doing any of that at all. I really encourage you to take a holistic approach to how you're running your business so that you're not just focusing on working as much as possible, making as much as possible. You're looking at how can I make as much as possible while also living as peacefully as possible, whatever that looks like for you. All right, so these are some of my amazing colleagues whose minds I've already blown with AI. And these colleagues, many of them have encouraged me to charge upwards of 12K for this program. And honestly, that is something we probably will do in the future is raise the price so that it is more competitive there. And honestly, I paid a lot more for programs that got me a lot less. I'm laughing because there's one program I saw for 12K and it was literally just somebody's Zoom recordings where everybody on the call was like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. It was just awful. And I paid 12K for that. Obviously, I wouldn't have if I had known. But what I'm saying is that something like this with AI 200K, where there is a lot of hands-on, there is copy reviews, there is coaching, group coaching calls. You have the 3 days of one-on-one messaging. You have daily steps that you're taking or weekly steps that you're taking with custom or with prompts that you can ask for help on. Something like that. This is obviously so much more than random Zoom calls. Anyway, there's also a college program charging $3,200 for only 6 weeks of training on the impact of AI. So this isn't even what AI 200K covers. AI 200K covers practical ways to use AI to implement it into your business in a holistic way so that it is a sustainable approach. You're adding a little bit at a time. We have the prompts for you. It's not that. It's 6 weeks on the impact, which is not really helpful at all. With AI 200K, it is a year and it's actual practical ways to use it with the prompts included so that you can use it faster. So I get where my colleagues, my friends want me to charge, 12K or more because of what else is out there as far as like the college courses or other programs, even though they're not about AI, other programs or people are charging 12K. I get it. So just to recap, you get all of this. So you have an easy to follow schedule. You have 1K the first day plan. You have monthly step-by-step training. quarterly training of the mindset coach, monthly live launch prompts, the Friday off framework. So you are evergreening, you're automating optional cohorts, evergreen training on social and on email, success tracking challenges, monthly live group coaching call, monthly live Q&A call, implementation thread, monthly copy reviews. This is weekly, should say monthly, but you're not going to be paying 12K for all of that. I'm used to making people money. I make people money with my email marketing agency, which is another brand that we have. And I've helped countless other businesses like copywriters, ad strategists, pet psychic, business coaches, life coaches, dentists, social media marketers, therapists. The list goes on and on of the businesses that we've worked with. If you can think of the business or think of a kind of business, a niche, we have probably worked in that. And of course, I make money in my own business as well. And I want to bring that to you too. Because the more money good people have, the more good we can do for ourselves, our families, our community, and the world. And that's why I'm bringing AI to 100K to market for much, much less than that. The to market price on my website comes out to $2,997 or $250 a month. And because I want to help as many people as possible make the world a better place with more options. Now, when I say more options, when you have more money, you can choose what you do next. You have more options to help others. You have more options to help yourself. You have more options about how you show up, when you show up. And so I want to help you have more options because I think the world's a better place when we all have more options. You're going to be getting it for even less. So just a reminder, this is everything that you're getting here, plus the 3-day one-on-one messaging bonus for only $19.97 for the year. So not $2,997, $19.97 for the year, or $197 a month for 12 months. And again, this is not a membership or subscription. This is a payment plan. So either $1997 for the year or $197 a month. But if you decide you want to join today, and you don't have to, but if you'd like to, we'd love to have you. If you decide to join today, it's going to be $997 for the year or $97 a month for 12 months instead. So even better deal than you'll find, definitely a better deal than you'll find on my website or really anywhere else. All right, AI 200K, I'm going to go ahead and put the link below. And while I'm doing that, let's get some common questions here. So first, while I get one-on-one coaching from you, again, I charge usually $997 for an hour of consultation. And we really wanted to make sure that we're keeping this super affordable. So because of that, I don't provide one-on-one coaching, but you can always come to the group coaching calls, the group Q&A calls, ask me a question in the Facebook group. You can sign up for your 3-day one-on-one messaging. We also have cohort to give you support. There's copy reviews that you can get. So you have the support you need in place. How often do we have group coaching calls? There's at least one Q&A call a month, at least one live coaching call a month. We also have co-working sessions as well. I know that for a lot of folks, having that accountability can really help. So we have those in the program too. What if it doesn't work for you? So if it doesn't work for you, please reach out to me so that I can help. Like I said, my goal here is transformations. I will do whatever it takes to help you get that transformation. And typically what I find is that if somebody's, oh, things are moving slow for me, it's usually because there's something in here that they're not finishing, they're not completing. And usually that's just a mindset thing. So we work through that and get you going. What if I need extra help? What if I get stuck? I mentioned all the different support places that you have, but just to recap, you can come to one of the group coaching calls. You can come to one of the group Q&A calls. You can come to the co-working sessions and ask questions there as well. You can ask me questions in the Facebook group. You can utilize your 3-day one-on-one messaging. There's just a lot of different avenues for help. You could ask other people, other your colleagues in the program. You can submit copy review. You can come to the mindset coach session. So yeah, there's a lot of things. After all that, I very much doubt you're still going to be stuck. But if you are, please reach out. I want to join, but I haven't made at least 100K yet. Okay. It is okay if you haven't made at least 100K yet. You'll see on the sales page that we talk about making your next 100K. If you haven't made at least 100K, that's okay. Really what I want to make sure is that the 97 a month, or if you decide not to buy today, you buy another day, the 197 a month, or if you buy later on my website, then it'd be the 250 a month. Whatever it is, I want to make sure that it's not a burden to you. We do best when we're able to think or come from a place of abundance and not from a place of, I have to make, money this month or my business is going to implode. If that's the case that you're in right now, this program probably isn't the best fit for you. Not right yet anyway. Maybe come and see me a little bit later. But really, if you are ready to grow your business, if you're ready for your business to thrive, if the 97 or 197 or 250 mark, whatever one you decide to go with, if that's not going to be a burden to you financially, then yes, this is a good fit for you. And we do have the 1K the first day plan as well, so that you're making money straight out of the gate. Most folks come in and they make their investment back within either the before we even start, which has happened for a lot of people, or that first month. Oh, sorry, let me clarify. Make their investment back for the whole year. So not just that $97 a month for 12 months if you're doing the payment plan, but the full 997 or 1997 or 2997, depending on what if you decide to start today, in a few days, or later on. Now, if you're thinking, I don't like to sell, AI can help with that. I don't like to get on sales calls, AI can help with that. I don't actually use sales calls pretty much at all anymore. I don't like to be on social, AI can help with that. I don't like to write emails. Guess what? AI can help with that. And if you're thinking, I'm not good at sales, social, writing, traffic, yes, AI can help with all of that too. And we cover all of that in AI to 100K. You might also wonder, can I start later? I've covered that a little bit. Yes, you can. If you join today, it'll be 97 a month for the next 12 months or 997. If you join in a few days, it'll be 1997 for the year. And if you join later on, it's going to be whatever it is on my website, which is currently 2997. So yes, you can absolutely start later. The price will go up. The other problem with starting later is that sometimes I'll find people that say, okay, I'll start next month. I'll start the month after. I have a lot going on right now. But the problem is that typically those folks always have a lot going on. And so nothing actually moves forward because they're in this constant cycle of overworking, having to do all the things, not being able to get all the things done. And then before you know it, it's been a year and you still are doing everything yourself. You're still saying, oh, I don't have time to utilize AI, even though we already have the prompts for you and you're literally just copy and paste. And so if you don't want to be in that same boat where a year from now you're thinking, okay, I'll start later. I don't have time to use AI right now. Not only will you be behind the many other people that are utilizing AI in their business, but you're going to be having a year where you're working harder than you have to for either the same or less money. When do we officially start the program? So as soon as you join, you can start the program and you'll be in, let's say you join in March, you're going to be in the March cohort. Let's say you join in January, you'd be in the January cohort, but you can start as soon as you sign up. All right. So we'd love to have you in AI to 100K. Thank you so much for being here today. And I hope to see you soon. To those of you who are thinking about joining, to those of you who just joined, can't wait to see you in AI to 100K. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.